Oh, look at us, both in white like angels. So misleading, isn't it? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is another Ask Emily Q&A and I have a very special guest with me today. This is Katie. She's also a blogger and a YouTuber, and we're actually doing a collab video. So not only will we be answering mental health questions on this channel, but over on Katie's channel we'll have a video on dating.
Yeah, and sex.
Yeah, dating and sex, two of our favourite topics, other than mental health. But yeah, I will link the link to her video down below in the description box, so after you've watched this you can head over and check that one out as well. So today's topic is mental health. This is something I've always wanted to talk about on my channel. I'm very passionate about it. Both Katie and I have experiences with mental health, anxiety. We've both seen therapists in the past and we've both been on antidepressants and come off them.
Yeah.
So we're very passionate about it, and I never knew how to start this topic of conversation on my channel because I admittedly am a bit nervous about it, but what better way than to do it with someone that has an experience as well, and we can kind of just make it like an open chat sort of thing. I asked you guys on Instagram if there was any questions you wanted answered in regards to mental health, so I've got a few of them here and we're just gonna have a very informal chat about everything mental health, some of our experiences, and just advice as well. Have you ever suffered from depression? If so, how do you manage it / overcome it? Yeah, so I have suffered with depression in the past. I'm no longer depressed, I would say, clinically or whatever, but anxiety is still very much everyday part of my life, which is very common with for people with depression. I first realised I was depressed when I was at university. I was 22 years old.
Wow.
And my living environment wasn't very good at the time. Like, I was very stressed. I was living with people that I didn't really like, and that was like putting a lot of pressure and anxiety on me. I was crying a lot for absolutely no reason, and it's like that for me was the trigger. Also got myself into a situation where I was like thinking about self-harm.
Really?
Yeah, and I've never done that, and I know people do it, but I've never self-harmed ever. And that was the trigger point for me when I was like, I need help. I need help. So I went to the doctors and they got me on therapy, and they got me on citalopram, which is an anti-anxiety and depression medication, and they started me at the lowest dose, which is 10 milligrams, and I was on antidepressants for 8 years, even though I definitely didn't need them for 8 years, but they were a bit of a crutch for me. I slowly got better and I got out of that funk, and I definitely say I'm not depressed anymore, but I can definitely have days when I feel a little bit depressed, but it's not a constant feeling. How did I overcome it? Therapy and medication, and I definitely say that medication isn't for life. It's to get you, it's almost to like clear the fog a little bit so you can kind of understand what's wrong with you better and then take those steps to getting better.
So I come from a family full of mental health do you call it issues or problems? Like, I never know what to say.
Mental health issues, I guess.
Yeah. So my mum has very bad OCD and depression. She's been on Prozac, like coming up to 25 years. And my sister also has health anxiety and OCD as well, and is also on antidepressants. I always thought that I'd been the lucky one to escape that, but I've definitely got a lot of anxiety. I have massive worry issues to the point where it kind of leads to OCD rituals. But I think it was 2012, 2013, I was just at the biggest low of my life.
That's actually when I was too. Yeah, it's like that 22, 23 age. It was just horrendous, and I was constantly crying. I could not see, I was not motivated. I was just so miserable, so down. Everything's a struggle. Get the thought of even getting out of bed. Eating. Yeah, and it was so bizarre. Having a conversation with someone. Yeah, it was all hard work, and it was so bizarre because I was happier. Like, I had a good job, I had a great boyfriend. Everything should have been great, and I should have been happy, but I was not, and that made me feel even worse. So that's the point of mental health. Like, it can happen to anyone at any time, at any point in their lives, from any walk of life. Like, you don't have to be homeless and without a family to fall depressed. No. And that's one of the stigmas that needs to change, I think, as well. So I went to the doctor, and I had a phone call with a therapist the next day, and they were like, I had therapy on the NHS, but I literally got a call back the next day, and they were like, we're actually very worried about you. So they I started therapy from the next week, which on the NHS is like really quick. Rare.
I waited 6 weeks to see someone.
They literally called me back. They were like, no, we need to fast track. I think they were very worried about me. So they also got me on antidepressants. I was on, I've been on 2. I've been on sertraline and citalopram. I can't remember the dosage, but I think it was probably 10, 20. Therapy helped a lot. I mainly had therapy for my emetophobia and came off it after about a year, I think. And then,
you were on antidepressants for a year?
I think so. It might have even been less than that. I kind of had it alongside my therapy and when I felt confident. And also, I must admit, I wasn't very happy with the side effects that the antidepressants gave me, and that was one of the reasons I came off.
Yeah. I think I was on them for so long when I didn't need them because it never felt like the right time to come off. Like, it was such a struggle getting on them. I don't know if you remember, like, the headaches and the vision impairment, and like you just
shaking, my legs were shaking.
Yeah, it's like it's a struggle getting on them because you're altering your brain state and your like chemical levels and balances. And then it's just the same or worse coming off, I found withdrawal. Anyway. Withdrawal. Just an point in my life when I thought everything was great and I was ready. That was just fucking knocked me for 6. It was crazy. But for 8 years, there was always something stopping me from getting off them, whether it was like a new job and I thought I needed the support, or like a new living arrangement, or a relationship fell through. I was like, I'm not ready. And in the end, I just realised I had to just be ready. Because
so one day you were just like, I think it's time.
Yeah. I was like, it's gonna be shit, but it's time. I need to, and also I didn't want to like keep having the chemicals in me either. I wanted to see what I was like now, without the drugs. And turns out I was right. I didn't probably need them for the last 3-4 years. It's a difficult one because I think doctors these days are so readily prescribe drugs to people, like antidepressants, without really getting to the crux of the issue. I would always say, and obviously I'm not a medical professional, but if your doctor offers you medication for like depression or anxiety, never do it without talking therapy as well.
Absolutely.
Because then you're just asking a problem, you're not solving anything.
Therapy definitely was the best thing to help with me personally, I think, more than the medication.
Which leads me to my next question, which is about therapy. What were your misconceptions, if any, about doing therapy? Did you have any? Were you nervous?
I think I was just at such a low point where I was just like, I will try anything. So going into it, I was actually quite excited to be able to talk about things. And I don't know, I'd also had family therapy years before that for my sister and her problems. So I kind of at that time took it as a bit like, oh, family therapy, we sound like such like a one of those families, I don't know. But I don't think I had any misconceptions. I was just very excited to start getting my life
getting better.
Yeah, how about you?
I mean, I was kind of the same. Like, I was open to anything. I felt really lucky to be in a position where someone would see me for an hour every week and talk to me. And I've never had a problem with expressing my feelings or emotions. So, but I understand, and a lot of you have actually messaged me on Instagram about this in the past, thinking about therapy, because I openly talk about the fact that I'm in therapy right now, and saying you're very anxious to start. One of my best friends actually put it off for years because she felt like they were the enemy. Like, her brother had been had psychiatric help, and she'd always had a really bad experience with psychologists, and so she was very anti, she thought that everyone was just going to be out to get her. For me, there was no misconceptions. I think not every therapist is going to be right for you. I had to try out a few before I actually found a connection, someone I trusted, someone where the dialogue just flowed, and someone that actually I felt gave back as well, because there's so many different types of therapy. There's CBT, Gestalt, which is what I do at the moment, which is less practical, more emotional. So you really just have to find out. But I'd say to anyone thinking about going into therapy, approach it with the mentality that this is you doing something for yourself. Just like you would buy yourself a new pair of shoes or treat yourself to like a nice dinner. This is something to make you feel better. This is your hour, and it's a very safe space, and nothing you say will be ever used against you. You can only be honest, and being honest will only mean you get better.
I'm not gonna lie though, therapy was hard work for me.
Really?
I found it absolutely exhausting, and
it can be, for sure,
but it helped me so much.
So
even if you're finding it quite difficult, then I think definitely stick with it.
Yeah, it is. It can be super difficult. I'm at the stage now where I leave therapy and I feel like I'm on cloud fucking 9.
Do you?
Yeah, I literally walk out and like, that was like the best massage or orgasm I've ever had. Yeah, I feel like this like weight every time I talk to my therapist.
I didn't feel like that at all. I would leave and I'd want to go get into bed and cry.
Really?
And just get it all out because it was so exhausting for me.
Was this back like at the beginning stages of your like depression? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, I mean, because I go to a therapist now actually to help me more with my issues with work separation. I get a lot of anxiety around what I do and self-worth and being kind to myself. Those are my issues now. I'm no longer depressed, but when I was depressed, I remember actually those therapy sessions being a lot worse because it was almost like trying to find an answer to something that was pretty much unexplainable. Like, your life was together, my life, I should have been having a great time at uni. It's almost like the depression was there. It was like trying to dig into an area, that a chest that didn't want to open almost. It can be super painful, but I guess that depends on your problem, where you are in your life and how you approach it. But yeah, it's definitely hard work, but totally worth it. Yeah. So somebody's asked me any tips for problems with sleeping and anxiety. Lots of people that are depressed or have anxiety suffer with sleeping issues. We both do. I mean, I have practical advice that I can give you guys, like meditation before sleeping. Do you do that?
I should.
You should. It's one of those things, like, everyone's like, oh, I meditate before bed and it's amazing. Like, oh my god, I should really do that. And then the chances are that you're not going to do it. But I've been doing it now every night pretty much for 6.
Do you use an app or do you?
Oh my god, there's an app called Calm.
Yeah.
And I've spoken about it on my Instagram before. It's amazing. Like, it's like you can do like sleep meditation, anxiety meditation, self-esteem meditation. There's also like mini series that you can go through with like 7 episodes and then you like graduate. It's pretty cheesy, but oh my god, it's so good. Obviously, don't use your phone too soon before bed.
Yeah. I actually have sleeping pills from the doctors prescribed melatonin. Yeah, which
I tried that.
It works for some people. Like, makes me really groggy and drowsy the next day, so I try not. But I actually think I might have developed a little bit of an addiction to them at one point.
That happens.
Because I don't think they are addictive, but I just relied on them so much, and then I'd work myself up in my head to be like, if I don't take one, I'm not going to sleep, and then But a
lot of not being able to sleep with anxiety is the feeling that you don't believe it will happen, and you'll be chasing it for hours, and that is stopping you from sleeping a lot of the time when your body's exhausted, but your brain is like, when's it going to come? When's it going to come? When's it going to come? And that's the worst. So, I mean, practical advice other than sleeping pills and meditating and no screen time before bed, I tend to find don't exercise too late in the evening because that actually gets you more pumped up. Do you exercise in the morning if you suffer with anxiety?
Yeah.
But honestly, like, a meditation app is a godsend for me personally.
Yeah, I also really like this is, I mean, it might be a bit of a fad, but like lavender spray.
No, totally.
And, like, a nice calming bath.
A candle.
Oh, a candle, a book. Like, peppermint tea is like my ritual now. When I have a peppermint tea, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
So just like
that's a good
finding
idea.
a ritual.
Finding a ritual like
that works
like
for you.
Yeah, making yourself feel good before you go into a sleep. Lots of people get anxiety before they sleep. Lots of people get anxiety in the morning when they wake up as well. I found that mine's actually shifted. I used to be a really bad sleeper before bed, and now I wake up and it's like someone just pushes the anxiety button as soon as I wake up. I'm like.
No.
Yeah, it's totally, now I can fall asleep fine. I think it's the meditation app, but it's almost like it shifts the anxiety to the morning, and I'm like, I can't fucking get rid of this shit. Yeah, I know, but yeah, just make bedtime like a pleasant ritual, not one you dread, and hopefully that makes things easier. Someone's asked, how best do you handle bad days, i.e. days when you're feeling like even the simplest thing is impossible to do. We all have those days. Like, nobody's immune to that, mental health problems or not, I think.
Oh yeah, everyone can relate to that, I think. I mean, I don't know if this is good advice, but I really like just writing a list because it allows me to not get overwhelmed with everything. Just putting the simplest things on that list. So, because I wake up, and also working for myself, it's like you
are your motivation. There's no one else with you.
Yeah, and so if I'm having a down day and I'm like, everything feels too much and my anxiety is really bad, and then I'm like, where do I even start? Like, I just want to get back into bed. I will write a list, and on my list it would be like, make a cup of tea, unload the dishwasher, have a shower,
small things.
Even and then because those things still count and they're still part of your day, and you need those things in order to make other things happen. So and also ticking something off a list is very satisfying.
Yeah, and also once you've had, because I've been like that, I've been in bed, I'm like today is just not going to happen for me. And then I think about all the tasks that I have to do, and I'm like, absolutely no way. Like, even sitting down and writing that email seems impossible right now. But then by putting, have a cup of tea, have breakfast, like, wash my face, do my skincare routine, that in turn makes you feel better as well. So it's almost like a tricking, I don't say tricking, but like almost tricking yourself into like starting your day and
being more motivated.
Yeah, exactly.
So nothing feels too much of a hard task. And also, you don't need to get through the entire list.
No, I never do.
No, me neither.
Everything always rolls over. But something that my therapist said to me also, because I used to feel like when I had those days, I needed to complete something. And sometimes you do have things that you just need to do because that's what being an adult is. But she also said to me, it's absolutely fine, Emily, to just not do anything if you don't feel like it.
You don't actually, you deserve downtime just like everyone else.
Yeah, you know, sometimes if the small things aren't really doing it for you, just be okay with sitting and having a day off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work. You'll work extra hard the next day. You know, it's just listening to yourself and being kind to yourself and giving yourself the time if your body or your brain is asking for it.
Yeah.
So this question is how to deal with family or people in your life that don't believe or don't understand mental health. That really resonates with me personally because I kept my mental health issues quiet from my siblings for a really long time out of sheer embarrassment,
really,
and also dread that they wouldn't understand. Although it was a fabrication in my mind, obviously my sisters love me and they since know about all my problems and they're totally cool with it. But to be perfectly honest, when I was 22 and they were 21, they didn't get it at all, and they would have just, I say they would have, this is obviously speculation, but knowing the relationship we had, and they kind of knew about me and like they'd obviously grown up about me, they probably would have just said, oh, stop being lazy, stop being like selfish, like get out of your own head. And for that reason, that's why I didn't tell them. I had so much fear about them just like, you're making it up. And I think a lot of people still think this way, and it's really, really sad. But the more we talk about it, the more everyone is beginning to understand that actually it's not a fabrication in your mind. It's not someone being lazy. I'm not trying to cop out of going to university and doing work. Like, it's an actual issue. I was terrified at telling my mum, but I had to tell my mum. I had to. I kept it from my sisters for years. I kept it from my friends that I was on antidepressants for years because nobody around me had any experience with it. So therefore, I just thought they would not understand.
That's really hard because then you feel even more alone in your head.
Yeah. No, it's true. I have my therapist and my mum, although she loves me a lot, was very much like, tried to do the mum thing and like tried to help and fix and suggest things, and it's really like, she's not a therapist at the end of the day. Like, but yeah, no, it does make you feel very alone, and I'm so much more open about it now. But maybe that's because I'm better. I'm not really sure. That for me is really hard to answer because I feel like I didn't trust people either to tell them. But I really think the way that the world's changing and the misconceptions are changing, that's really enabled me to speak up more.
If someone doesn't take it seriously, then maybe they're not worth having in your life. But at the same time, you need family and you need friends around you. So hopefully they'll just get that by you telling them that is a big deal in itself, and that they need to pay attention to that.
It's a two-way thing, you know, like I'm really fortunate to be dating someone now that's had mental health issues in the past. So unlike all my other previous relationships, he's so understanding. Like, he knows when I'm withdrawing or retreating, or I'm like, I'm going into a bit of a dark space, and, you know, he'll sit me down and be like, talk to me, and I'll be like, nothing's wrong, everything's fine, you know, because that's like an automatic response. And then he's like, no, tell me, I can see you look sad, or, you know, you were unengaged at dinner tonight, like disengaged, you know, and it's amazing to find someone like that has experience. So I guess in a way, if you're struggling to tell friends and family because you feel like they maybe won't understand you, try and connect with someone that has gone through the internet's a great space where people are openly talking about this, and you can get advice from people that do understand, because although your friends and family might love you, they might not have the understanding that comes with experience of mental health. I've had a submission from someone, and this is like super sad. It makes me and Katie both really upset to hear this, but it's obviously something that a lot of people are going through anyway. So we're gonna we're gonna read it out and then just kind of discuss it. So this girl said to me, "I've got so little confidence and self-esteem. It affects everything I do. What can I do? I hate my life."
I just want to give her a cuddle.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Like, those phrases aren't alien to me. I've definitely said those phrases to myself before. I hate my life. What can I do? Where can I turn?
Why am I not good enough? Like,
where's my confidence? Like, no self. I still suffer from massive self-esteem issues, despite being on a public platform.
Yeah.
It's like, my self-worth can be like this size some days, and I really beat myself up, you know?
Yeah, I constantly compare myself to everyone, and it makes me feel like I'm not worth, like I'm just not worth anything.
Not worth people's time, not worth people's compliments, like it's really difficult.
This is a really cheesy answer, but I love a self-help book. I love a book that will just be like, you're great, you can do this, you got this, like these are the things that like you can put your foot down to people, and like you deserve the world. I love books like that.
I think doing things for yourself that make you feel good about yourself when you're in a place like this, like a very dark place, is essential. I remember when I was feeling like that, like at the depths of my despair and depression, it was actually because I was not doing anything good for myself.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're that low, if you're not turning to medication, if you're not turning to therapy, it's all about finding things that boost you up. So like an exercise class, it might feel so fucking hard to put your foot in the door, but when you come out the other side, you know it's proven medically that you're gonna feel better for it. You know, reading a book that lifts you up, watch an inspiring movie, go for a walk. And all that sounds super cheesy, but it's all about being kind to yourself and giving yourself enjoyment, so then you can have a little bit more light back in and see that actually life is amazing, it can be great, and you're also an amazing, wonderful individual, you know?
You really are. Never let anyone make you feel less of a person, ever. We only get one life, but just understand that you are incredible and you have the power to do anything you want, and you can be happy and you deserve to be happy.
Yeah. Just start small, do things that make you feel good, and then as the light comes back in, the confidence grows, keep going, because it's a phase.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. It makes me really sad.
And it's horrible to think, that people are out there feeling that way, and get help or help yourself. But remember, be kind, you get one life, you're amazing, and whatever you can do whatever you put your mind to, and it is a phase and it will pass.
It gets better.
It gets better. Trust us. We've been there and come out the other end. Okay, so one last question. I've actually had quite a few submissions on mental health and dating, so we're going to tackle one of the questions now. And this girl asks, how to help cope when you're dating someone with depression, and when to know when to draw the line, which I think is really valid, really valid. I've been on both sides of this, actually. I've been the one with depression and having my partner support me, and I've had dated someone with depression and having to be on the other side, and it is really difficult. And actually that was quite a toxic relationship, if I remember rightly. I had to get out because I know I don't want to say was made to feel, because I feel like at the end of the day you are very much in charge of how you feel and how you can, like, you know, you choose to be a certain way, like you choose to act a certain way, but I felt like I couldn't talk about my issues in my relationship. I felt like a nuisance, and I was burdening them whenever I had a problem and I wanted to speak about it. My relationship now is the complete opposite. Like, they literally sit me down and they're like, talk to me.
So lovely.
Yeah, it is. And it just showed me how wrong that last relationship was. But I was very much made to feel like I couldn't share my feelings. And if you asked him now, he'd probably say one of the reasons we broke up is because I was selfishly unburdening myself onto him, which is quite sad. Have you had any experience with this in a relationship?
So only from my point of view, where I have been the one feeling really down. It is really hard, because when you're feeling low, your partner probably will start feeling low as well, because they feel like sometimes they might even feel like it's their fault that you're feeling so low. So it's really hard. In terms of drawing the line, I don't know, that makes me feel uneasy, because is that saying that when do you end the relationship because it gets too much? That's so difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult. And I think, I mean, the most practical answer that I would say is the minute, not that you feel like you can't do any more, but like, it's really hard, because obviously if you love someone and you want to help them, that's amazing. But as a human being in a relationship, you are only responsible for a certain amount of the way someone feels. Like at the end of the day, it's my responsibility if I'm depressed to get better. And that doesn't mean I have to cope on my own. That means it's my responsibility to do nice things for myself, to see a therapist, to make sure I'm getting enough exercise, you know? And whereas my partner will take on a little bit of the burden because he loves me or whatever, it's actually my responsibility to make myself better. It's not the partner's.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe if you're feeling burdened and like you're helping and you're putting yourself out there on the line, and you know it's taking all your love and you're there for them, but you really don't see them helping themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's unfair.
Yeah.
And that's when too much is being asked of you as a partner, and that's maybe when you need to step back a little bit, because at no point should your mental health start to be affected because of the way someone else is.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a responsibility for themselves to look after themselves.
Yeah. I think if you're feeling too burdened, then perhaps advise them to go and talk to someone.
For sure.
A therapist, because that would,
Yeah, it splits the burden for sure. And also, you're not a trained psychologist. No. You can only advise so much. And I think also as a depressive party might feel that although you're trying, like it's not enough, but then it's unfair of them to expect that from you, because you're not a clinical psychologist. You might not have experience in mental health issues. You love them and you want to help, but there can be limitations, and I think that can be unfair in a relationship. Everyone has a responsibility to take care of their own mental health. And on that light note,
getting a bit sweaty.
I can't crack the windows because the school's just come back and they're like in the background. I do feel like we've just literally skimmed the surface of this.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted it to be chatty, conversational, answer a few questions. Obviously, we're not medical professionals, so everything we've said needs to be taken with a pinch of salt. And if you do need help or you're looking for some, then definitely turn to professional, like mental health body for support if you need it, or your GP.
Yeah.
You'll probably have a few more questions for us. If you do, just leave them in the comments box below and I'll do my best to get back to all of them. I hope this was helpful in any way possible and it gave you some insight into what it's like to deal with mental health.
Yeah.
And if anything, if this video does anything, just hope like it makes it more conversational.
Yeah, and know that you're not alone as well, and that even people who, I feel like especially with people on social media, like you'll look at our lives and be like, oh, they've got everything, they're so happy, their life's great, but everyone deep down has issues and it's good to talk about them.
Yeah, starting the conversation is the first step. It can only get better from them once it's out in the open.
Yeah.
So yeah, take care and see you back on my channel really soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.